So what we're going to do here is essentially some contour drawings. Okay. Contour drawings are basically drawings where you just draw the outlines and you go really slow. It's kind of like a steady line that, you don't sketch, you don't kind of do this kind of thing. What ends up happening is that your line is a little more steady and methodical. So whether it curves or you have angles or it goes straight, the idea is that I'm not like scratching into the paper. I'm just, making a continuous line. Okay. And so what you do is you can just find some object in your house. Usually it's something, it's cool if it's something kind of small, it's better. Like that, like keys are sometimes pretty good. They have kind of a distinct shape. Anything with sort of an interesting shape tends to work pretty good. Okay, and so there we go, cool. It didn't slide off my paper. My table's at a little bit of an angle, so sometimes I put things down and yeah, there it goes. It starts to slide. Okay, so with a regular contour drawing, you can just start wherever you want to, but you're just more or less following the edge. And the idea is that as your eye is, say I'm starting over here, and as my eye is, I'm visually tracing the contour, visually tracing the shape, my hand is mimicking that same movement. So pretend this is my eye and I'm looking at it. I'm trying to mimic the exact same curves and contours. Okay. And you're not going to shade on these. You're not going to sketch and start with big shapes. It's sort of the way that we would draw when we were like 3 years old. Okay. Where we're just making outlines and lines and, just kind of seeing where it goes. So if I start over here, again, what I'm doing then is I am looking at it. And so I can look at my paper over here, but I'm just, again, trying to go slow. And technically you're not supposed to pick up your pencil like I did there, but that's okay. And so somewhere around this pace is pretty good. If you go a little faster, it's okay. But you don't want to go too fast with these. I picked up my pencil again to adjust my arm, but that's all right. You can go slower. So the angle I'm looking at, it's just a little bit different than it looks on the camera. Again, something like this. And I can already tell this one's not going to be a particularly great one. Okay, so we're there. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pencil. Okay, and so then, I'll start over here. And so again, you can tell I'm just going really slow. Like I said, I'm looking at the paper in my drawing, then I look back at the object. But really the idea is that you almost want to spend more time looking at the object. And so what this does, a couple of things will happen is that learning how to draw is learning how to see. You start getting better at recognizing what's in front of you. So the more you study and you look at something, the more time you take to look at it, you start recognizing more of what's there. Okay, so that's where it helps you. And then the other thing too is that, again, if I'm going really slow and I'm, more or less studying the object and looking more at the object than I am at my own drawing. And I'm not going far enough. There we go. It helps build hand-eye coordination. Okay. So that's not particularly a great drawing of this, but that's okay. Okay. And so you'll notice, it's got sort of a shadow right there because then this part's the top and then this is the side and this is kind of the front right there. So I always tell students, you can draw some of those things if you want to. It won't do anything. So, just kind of turn the shadows and highlights and outlines. It actually makes it more fun. So you do get to show a lot of detail. And like I said, really, you're not supposed to pick up your pencil up, like I'm doing right there. You're technically not supposed to do that. The idea is always, the more of these you do, you draw the whole thing in, one continuous line. But I'm not going to exactly follow that rule right now. Again, you know, the more you do these, the more practice you get at drawing, let's say this little stapler, you'll get better at it. Okay, so it's more like a quantity versus a quality. So if I kept drawing that over and over, say I drew it 20 times, I'll probably have a few of them that look pretty good. Okay, like I said, I like drawing a lot of times keys. You know, so you can just set up, I don't know, I could focus on one or just a few of them. Maybe I'll kind of line them up, something like that. There we go, that'll work. Okay, yeah, that's good. And so again, you know, you just kind of pick a starting point. I'll say somewhere over there. Again, just go slow. You can look at the object, you know, look back at your paper on one steady, continuous line. And just don't go too fast. That's kind of the trick. So if you go too fast, you miss a lot of things. Even if you go really slow, you'll tend to miss a lot of things, but you're more likely to pick up on some of the detail that you'll see, okay? So in a strange way, you're actually kind of focusing on detail first. And this one's not looking that great either. I don't like that one. Let's do another one. That's what happens when you're drawing and talking at the same time. And like I said, because I'm probably going a little faster than I should, so. Yeah, see, I feel like I'm kind of jumping the line a little more there than I should, so. Let's see, I think I already kind of messed that up, but that's okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so that's basically a contour line, or a contour drawing. So a blind contour is doing the exact same thing, except you don't look at your drawing. So I'll kind of draw over here. So the idea is I'm going to look at the keys, and I'll do the exact same thing, but I'll never look at the drawing. I don't look at the drawing until the very end when I'm completely done with it. So if I'm just trying to do that one key, again, I'll pick a starting point, and I'll just focus on the key. So maybe I'll move it over here so I don't cheat. Okay. And so then, and again, we'll put the key over here. So if I start right there, again, the idea then is that I'm not going to look. Let's go ahead. And so in some ways it might look pretty terrible, but it actually might look pretty good sometimes. You know, sometimes they come out much better than you think. And so what you're doing is you're trusting your hand-eye coordination completely here. And so again, as you're drawing, just try to have your the idea that your eye is tracing the shape, like you're following the edges of the shape, and then you're just trusting yourself to, of course, you know, draw it accurately. And so as you can tell, I didn't really do that here. That's okay. That's the idea of a blind contour. And then again, if I were to draw this key, you know, another 20 times, they'd probably start getting a little bit better, okay? Because you kind of get warmed up and starts working out pretty good for you, okay? So again, just to review, a contour is where, you know, kind of like I did there, you can have the object out, again, continuous, steady line, go really slow, you're just following the shapes. So you follow, you know, you outline the whole shape. You can go back in and draw some of the detail, the shadows, everything's just a line drawing. And you're allowed to look at the object and the drawing that you're working on. Okay. And then, you know, I used the key for the blind contour, but the idea with the blind contour is that you do the same thing, but you only look at the object. You don't look at your drawing until you're completely done drawing. You know, so you, in your head, you're thinking, oh, this looks amazing, it's done. And then you'll look and find something like that, probably, but you might end up with some really good ones. Okay.